The term ready-made applies to pieces that were manufactured objects with practical functions before becoming artworks. These objects were often altered little or not at all by the artists.
Also known as found objects, famous examples include Marcel Duchamp's fountain, Michael Craig Martin's An Oak Tree, and Tracey Emin's My Bed.
Art is valued because it enhances human understanding, and many people will argue ready-made serve that purpose. This project addresses the question, should these works labeled ready-mades be considered art?
We established an experiment in order to help answer the question of whether ready-mades are art. We created a work, entitled Bottle, consisting of an empty plastic water bottle. We then exhibited this work to a randomly selected audience in order to field their opinions of whether or not it should be considered art. I want to know if you consider that to be an artwork or not.
No.
So we want to know if you would consider that to be a piece of art.
Yeah.
In normal circumstances, if you were to come across this bottle in a room like this, would you consider it a piece of art?
No.
No. We want to know if you consider it to be an actual work of art.
No.
And I want to know if you consider that to be a legitimate work of art, or whether it's not really art. It's just something I kind of threw together.
Yeah, you threw it together.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's art.
Would you consider that as counting as art?
Personally, no.
You know, Zach, I think an ordinary object takes on a new meaning when presented in a peculiar environment. A new perspective on an object leads to a new attitude towards it, and as such, something ordinary can be contemplated as art.
Well, Ethan, our audience was unimpressed by the presentation of the object and found it did nothing to elevate the piece beyond ordinary trash. This supports my argument against ready-made art. Changing the presentation of an object does nothing to change the object itself. Justifying the artistic quality of something based on presentation is problematic, as there is no intrinsically artistic quality to the object itself.
I mean, yeah, because like
Now it's on display.
the upside down garbage can with the trash on top, it's symbolic of like how humanity is being taken over by garbage and stuff, you know? No, it's still not art.
Even if I were to put that in an art gallery
Mhm.
and display it, you would still not consider it to be art?
No.
No?
No.
I think the context an object is viewed in does change the object's intrinsic qualities. In fact, Duchamp's fountain is a prime example. An ordinary urinal is plain, but a urinal in an art gallery is unique. And there is wittiness to the urinal in a gallery that is lacking to any urinal found in a washroom.
I don't know about that. It leads to the question of whether wittiness, which I admit constitutes creativity on the part of the artist, is truly intrinsic to a ready-made work. I would argue creativity should be attributed to the concept behind the work. Duchamp could be seen as creating art by submitting a urinal to a gallery, but is the urinal itself the focus of the artistic gesture? Advocate a little bit.
Quite.
If I had put some artistic meaning behind this and said that this represents how humanity is being overwhelmed by garbage or something,
Would it then?
does it now have more value because I've attached artistic meaning to it, or is it still just random objects?
Still just random objects to me.
I would suggest the answer lies in the notion of conceptual art. I believe the concept behind a piece is central to the work. Craig Martin's An Oak Tree, for example, makes a claim based on the doctrine of transubstantiation. In other words, that what appears to be a mundane glass of water is in fact an oak tree. Likewise, the work Bottle made the claim that synthetic trash is overwhelming the earth.
But Ethan, you don't refer to any skill on the part of the artist. If the focus of a work is shifted to the concept behind it, the object itself is in fact meaningless. Most of the audience for Bottle acknowledged the concept behind the work when it was expressed, but none of them arrived at the concept on their own. They made it clear the object did nothing to reinforce the concept, and there was no skill or craft involved on the part of the artists.
I don't understand the message that it's conveying.
The ideas labeled conceptual art would be better referred to as philosophy.
Well, at least ready-mades challenge the boundaries of institutional art. Further to that, their popularity is ample proof of their success. Millions of people around the world have viewed ready-mades on exhibit.
Ethan, it does not make sense to argue that there is a valuable subversive quality to ready-mades when they depend upon a gallery setting and the approval of the art establishment to be recognized in the first place. The average audience sees nothing of artistic value in ready-mades, as we have shown with our experiment. There is simply no justification for ready-mades as an aesthetic experience.